In the Bible, there are several diseases mentioned that affected biblical characters. These diseases range from leprosy to fever and were often considered punishments from God. Here is a summary of some of the diseases mentioned in the Bible. In the Old Testament, leprosy was a common and feared disease. Leprosy was considered an unclean disease and lepers were excluded from society. King Uzziah of Judah contracted leprosy after God punished him for his arrogance. The prophet Elisha cured Naaman, a Syrian commander, of leprosy. The plague is another disease commonly mentioned in the Bible. The plague refers to a series of diseases that cause an epidemic in a community. In the book of Exodus, God sends 10 plagues to Egypt to convince Pharaoh to free the Israelites from slavery. The seventh plague is a plague of hail that destroys the crops of Egypt. In the book of Samuel, God sends a plague to Jerusalem after King David takes a census of the population. Fever is also mentioned in the Bible. Fever is an illness that causes high fever, sweating, and weakness. In the New Testament, Peter's mother-in-law was sick with a fever when Jesus healed her. A fever is also mentioned in the book of Leviticus as a disease that can be cured through prayer and offering sacrifices. Madness is another disease that is mentioned in the Bible. Insanity is a mental disorder that causes irrational behavior and delusions. In the book of Daniel, King Nebuchadnezzar is punished by God and goes mad, living like a wild animal in the field. In the New Testament, there is mention of a man who lived in a graveyard and was possessed by demons that made him mad. In short, the Bible mentions several different diseases from leprosy to madness. They were often considered punishments from God, but cures through prayer and divine intervention are also mentioned. Although some of these stories may seem strange or difficult to understand, they can serve as a source of inspiration and comfort to those seeking healing in times of illness.